start the recording. I see. Okay. Good evening once more, and welcome to the advanced Excel data analysis class. We will actually be working today definitely on a lot of on pivot table, things like that, as well as we'll be doing creating drop down. We'll be doing dependent and independent drop downs on Excel, things like that, and as well as creating pivot charts and pivot table. Then if everything goes well, we might need to go into financial analysis. So we'll be doing the payment and we'll be doing NPV function, things like that, as well as the modeling, loan modeling. So not having or not talking much on that, we'll start on I want just to do a maybe a recap of some of the things that was done yesterday. I will not do it actually practically, but I'll just talk on it, and then if in case we have any issues, we can move ahead. And I'll also have to talk on things that deals with functions. Like we know functions like that are having alternative ways of going around it. Yesterday we did a lot of functions yesterday, but we can also do something that is known as like reverse engineering in Excel, where put an Excel formula or function in both ways to have the same results. So normally, let me just open my page here and share. Can you people see my screen?
Yes. Yeah, we can. You can see it, Charlie.
All right. So yesterday we did a lot. We did issues on if function, sum if, count if, average if, and error function, things like that. We did concatenate. We did things like search, left, right, mix, upper, lower, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index match. We never actually did sum product function, though it's hardly used, but maybe as we are going, we'll have to do that along the way. And then we also we'll be doing today, we'll be looking at specifying a valid range of values for cells, which means properly over the various options in data validation. We have about 7 options. We'll be looking at it today. And then also how to use the data validation properly, and how to restrict values being entered into data validation, how also to use messages to key into validation rules that are not accepted, and so on and so forth. So here, yesterday we did something like one of, I don't know if it was Mohammed or Alfred that asked of situation where you might have issues where you have months, and you want to have maybe the first 3 character of a month and the serial number that appears that gives this, as well as how to get a number within a text from maybe a particular set of text, where you mention that the fit number can be 1 or 2, that actually tells you if it's a male or female. Now, yesterday, Steve mentioned on something, and I wanted to bring it up today. Before we continue, that is very, very important. We did a function that can get maybe a left function that can get the first 3 characters of a text like JAN from January, and add it to the serial number 001 where we had this. And remember, we started that with a proper concatenate. What I'm trying to bring maybe our minds here is our way of approaching questions or approaching tasks like this should be, you can use a function in dual ways. You can have something where you have a situation where you can start with the proper, another situation where you can start with the concatenate. But there's always a trick in it. if I'm putting proper, if I'm clicking on proper, the text here is the whole of this function from proper up to the end. What do I mean? If I click on proper and I click on text, it highlights to the end. Now, the concatenate function here, we click on concatenate like this. It means for proper, I'll click either here or here. Here is the text, the condition that actually applies to proper. Clicking on proper is the function itself, as well as if I'm clicking on left, left is what is the text that applies to concatenate, and these are the other conditions. Now you can use either the concatenate and proper, or proper concatenate, it will still work. So if you're using proper, it means that what we want to ensure that the first letter of what the function that we're using, it should retain the first letter in capital letters, which gives proper. Proper means the first letter has to be capital letter in every sequence or series of text. Concatenate the function that joins maybe two or more cells. Left function is a function that determines within a text to pick out a particular set of numbers based on what you want it to give. Like here, we're having a left function that takes into consideration the text that is on column C3 here and returns 3 characters. So proper gives the text format in terms of uppercase, lowercase, or mix up and lower. Concatenate here is a function that joins this cell to this cell, which means for the proper function, we'll have something like FEB. FEB, the first letter is capital letter. So proper ensures that it makes the first letter capital, second and third small. Then concatenate ensures that it joins this data set to this. So we are having concatenate. Then the left function ensures that it takes a set of numbers within a particular text and return maybe a set of numbers. That depends on the maybe predefined things like that. Now we are saying left, this $C3, this is C3, is this cell. It means it's taking $C3. What's the content of $C3? January. Now when you put left January, why am I saying January? Is because this area that is selected is actually pointing to January. So left January 3 means it comes to January and select and takes out the first 3 characters in January. That's what it returns. Then you have a comma, which means this comma now comes into place when we are talking about want to join something, because concatenate function is involved. And then we are joining now the text that has to do with the left. And then this here is the delimiter, means it's taking the text here, it puts an hyphen. Here what we know is open quotation mark and close means it's a space. But within the space, we've attributed the hyphen, which is this. It will take now the first 3 letters of January hyphen, and it will come and add $3. $3 here is what? Is the text that appears here. But remember, for the fact that we'll be filling down, the text will happen to come down. It means this $3 will be $D3. So you will not have $D3. Why? Because normally 3 to move from 3 to 4 up to 11. So this is what gives us that what presents as a function. When you press enter, you have now this. If you autofill that, you have the other if you autofill, you also have the other cells that runs down. Second. It's refusing to undo. Let me just come and ensure that it's okay. Proper text. This is the text. Within the text, we have a concatenate function. Within the concatenate function, the first text that we are concatenating, that's what we are joining, is a left function that takes the first 3 characters of January, which is this, and we'll put $3, $C3. We need to take off the dollar from the C. So I should take dollar, C should not move from C to D, but it can move down. And then 3 means the first 3 characters of January. They will add this as a separator. I don't want to use a delimiter because some of us who might not really get it. This is a separator statement where it brings into it a hyphen, then a comma, $3 means we are coming $3, which means it come and adds to this statement. So if you press enter and we fill down, the other ones will normally give in the format that we have, like that. Then you can exchange you are seeing here, the proper function comes before the concatenate, and here the concatenate function comes before the upper. Here I'm using upper because I want, we are innovative in our actions. If I'm using proper here, like that, it means proper like that. It means the first letter will now be like for February will be F, capital F, small b, and so on. So if I'm using that, I'm pressing enter, we are having JAN, and JAN here is the proper, because what the first letter here will be capital letter and the other one will be small letters. And then if I'm filling that down like this, we'll have in that same order. But if I use the upper here instead of proper, we'll normally have everything in upper letter. And if I'm using lower here, we'll definitely have everything in lower letters. So that's just as I was talking about reverse engineering, whatsoever. You see, it reverses the order of the way you put your formula here as to here. Then there's something again before I move to the data validation. There's something that I want to show us here. What I want to show us here is, now we've been talking about working with data within a data set. How do we get data from external sources and things like that? Now, if you have download data from the internet and you want to work with the data from the internet, we can, okay, somebody has raised the hand.
When you're done with this session, I want to show you something.
All right, no, I'm done.
No, when you are done and you want to move, before you start data validation, I want to show you something.
Okay, when I'm done, you want to see something?
Yes, once you are done, before we start data validation, I want to show you something.
All right, it's okay. Then that's that here. Then I simplified this for those that could really miss it out. I was simplifying. One of our participants mentioned things like having quotes and determining maybe one being a male as the fifth character, and this was just something I wrote for us to understand how to do that, where I ensured that what using the mid function, you can get within a series of text with a mid function and get the position of the text to return either whatever text appears in that position and number of characters. And here, maybe the writing was not clear, but what I intend saying here was, when you put the mid function here, you take mid equals to mid G5, G4 is G, and this is 4, which falls on this. That's why you have G4 here. So you put an equals to mid G4, 5, 1. It means it will come within this text. It will come from left to the right 5 places and retain 1 character. So 5, 1, the first 5 we're having here is that is coming to left, is counting 5 places from left to right and returning 1 character. So if it's coming from left, it means 5 here is 1, 6 is 2, 5 is 3, 4 is 4, and then 5 is 1. So 5 now comes to 1 at this level, as well as if it comes here, 4 is the first character. Because I said it takes from left to right, it counts 5 characters. 4 is the first character, 5 is the second character, 7 is the third character, 6 is the fourth character, and then 2 is the fifth character. So 5 here actually means 2. It returns 1 means it returns 1 digit from 5, from 2, and 1 digit from 2 is 2 itself, which means if I took 2 digits here, it will give 27. So if I'm here and I'm using that means G5, which is the text here, 5 here means it's counting 5 characters from the first letter up to the 5th letter, which falls on 2, and it's returning 1 letter, and that 1 letter from 2 itself. If I return the 2 letter, rather than giving 2 here, it will give me 27, like that. I put 2 like that and enter, it will return the 2, 27, that's it. If I'm putting the 3 here, 3 here, like that, you give me 2, 3, 2, 7, 8. That's what it will give here, which means it counts 5 characters from here, because the condition is what we have as a content in G5. It should take from left to right, it should count 5 characters and return 3 characters from the 5th character to the right. So you count, here is the first character, which is 4, second character, which is 5, third character, which is 7, fourth character, which is 6, and 5th character, which is 2. So this 5, counting 5 character means it's counting 5 times. If it was 6 here, it will count the 6th character and it will fall on 7, not 2. So when it counts and end on 5, it retains 1 digit from the number 5, and 5 is inclusive. So if it's coming and ending at 2, 1 digit from 2 is 2. If you are taking 2 digits, it becomes 2 and 7. 3 digits becomes 2, 7, 8. 4 digits becomes 2, 7, 8, 6, and so on and so forth. So that is that for a recap of what the important things that we could have, or we did yesterday. Let me come back to what was. These were the important things that we did yesterday. And then definitely before I go to data validation, as Steve said, let me just do how I can export data from external sources. Most of us, we are not, we've not done COBOL, and maybe some of us are versed with COBOL. There are times that you might have data in COBOL. Let me just show an example. And you don't want to give the person that manages your COBOL account your login credentials. Means if you're giving your login credentials, the person that works or manages your COBOL account will be able to get into your COBOL and maybe do with your forms, or with your various forms that you've developed in COBOL. So normally there are ways that you can get also data from COBOL into Excel. This data is actually gotten from COBOL, where if you are creating a link between Excel and COBOL, each time you open Excel, you come to maybe a particular set and you refresh. If you refresh now, this data will update based on the data in COBOL. But for this fact, I don't think I've created a link here. I'm not sure for this data if it should update. If the link is there, it will definitely update, but that's not actually part of the class, as I said. But I'm just simply telling you, okay, I create a link here. You see, it has updated the data, and it has returned the number of updates from when I opened this data set. It was just about 5 names, and it has updated the whole of the other data. Means the link was created. Let me confirm if the link is created to see if actually the link is created. All right, it shows that there's a connection. So if I count here from here, I'm having 53. If you look at 52 data set, and in COBOL where they are collecting the data, let me confirm the data is actually CVA market assessment for GAC. Let me confirm if I'm coming here. This is CVA market assessment for GAC. We're having 53 entries. Let me see if there are 53. Oh,
52 entries. It's supposed to be 52 entries.
Okay, 52 entries. Let me just confirm. Okay, let me come to data table. And then reports. These are practical things that we meet as M&E, and it's good you understand, because I want to check the number of entries. Let me go to male and female. This is male and female. We are having 40 plus the frequency 40, female is 40, male is 41, giving 51. Why is it showing 52? Let me come back here to ensure I'm having 52 entries. $52, but it shows here 50. Maybe a set was not entered somewhere.
Oh.
Let's come here. Okay, 25 plus 19, that's supposed to be 25 plus 19 is 50
44.
44.
Yeah.
44 plus 11.
55.
No, it might not be right. This topology of trader. Okay, another way, let's confirm something. Let me export the data.
Okay, and open it, yeah.
Yeah, and open on Excel. Download. Those that have not done Kobo, I really encourage you to do Kobo. It is actually a very, very good. Those that are dealing with analysis, things like that. Okay, let me take any of the data set here and compare. We cannot, we don't have to count from we don't have to count from name of interviewer. We have to count from the data collected, which is the second column here. We take it down. 52. So there was a problem. Maybe this is the exported data 52, and the last name there is Riser, and then the first name is Array Ernest. So if I'm closing and coming here, first name, the last name is Riser, that is it, and the first name is Ernest, that's it. So you see, export the same data, but this is not part of the class. I was just trying to make us understand how far we can really think, or how broad we can think about when it comes to Kobo. But we can always catch up on that. Those are into Kobo in the class. Then lastly, before I move ahead, I want to just a second. Let me open our data set main. Okay, this is it. Okay, I want to bring in now external data. At times we get data where from external sources, I want to get it in Excel. For instance, let me open any data that is external here, so that you can understand what I mean by external data. All right. For instance, you have something like this. Those that have had things like this, I guess you can know what I'm talking about. You have first name, last name, address, email address. You can have data like that I get from external sources, as well as you can have data like this. Things like this. They have maybe the names of people, their email address, and their phone number, like this. If you're copying this to paste in Excel, let me just highlight and copy. And then if I'm coming to Excel to paste it, let me open a new sheet, for instance. You see it comes out like this. It doesn't really make sense. But now, how do you paste this data in Excel that it will give you in a way that you have the name, the email address, and the phone number? That's what I want to show us now. I'll paste it this way so that you see it, both internal and external. Internal means I'm transforming this data that I'm having like this from this to something that makes sense. And then external means that is within Excel, and external means I'm taking from another data source. Okay, let me start internal. To bring this internal, what do I need to do? I'll select the whole data set from here to here. When I select, I'll come to data, and then I'll come to text to column. When I come to text to column, I'll click on delimit text here. It's an option. I'll click on next. Now we're talking about delimiters, where I spoke of spaces being delimiters, commas being delimiters, things like semicolon. Those are all delimiters. What separate one text from another. But when you look at this text, you see that what it is hyphen. That is the delimiter. Yeah, it's hyphen. That's why you're seeing Jane, Macallan, and then this is a hyphen that separates them. So Jane might be first name, McLean second name, this is email address, and this phone number. So if it's delimiters that separates them, what happens? But you are seeing in a phone number, we are seeing a delimiter like this. This is a delimiter here, where we have a hyphen between these two numbers. So if you are putting, you look here, you will not see any hyphen here. So you come to others, you click on others, and under the box that is ticking, you click on that and you put hyphen. Automatically, we put hyphen, you see it gives in this format. But we'll see again the numbers, the telephone numbers is being separated with hyphen. That doesn't make sense. How do we get rid of that? We have to import this data then after we join these two columns using the join function. So now, you use this, I take space. Space now, it will not make sense again because it is not using the limiters, which is hyphen, but email and the names are joined. So it's better to use hyphen like that. They come here, sorry, they use hyphen. Then after you join this and this together. So when we are done now separating the first name, the last name, and the email number, you see that the phone number is taking phone number 1, 2, and 3, and it's separating them because the delimiter there is actually, you see 237 here. Let me take off space because, okay, look at something. Space here comes and separate 206 from 702 as space. The delimiter there is space. That's why you are seeing as I've ticked space, it separates them. But if I untick space, it will join back these two because space is not more a delimiter. The delimiter becomes only the content in this box on order because it is not among the first 4 contents here. Now, when I use now the hyphen as delimiter there, I'll take next. And then now they're asking destination. Where do we want this to appear? I can decide to use the same data set that it should replace this data here, as well as I can decide to create a new data set here. If I am replacing this data, I will just need to come on destination here. I'll select this. As I've selected, I'll come and click on the first cell here. It means it will replace this data with this structure. But if I click on the second cell here, this data will be maintained here, and then this structure also that has this, and this, and will appear here onward. Let's replace the data first. You see, as I do that, I'll click on finish. Now you see, as I've clicked on finish, it has separated Jane. Let me not use that so that you see what I'm trying to say here. Delimiter next. I want to use order, which is that next. The destination, I want it to be here. That's the destination. I take finish. Now you see here, Jane McLean. It has separated Jane and McLean, maybe first and second name. That's separated email address. Email address is there. The phone number has taken this and he has separated from the first 4 digits because they're having delimiter that are hyphen, which is this, as that. Then it means it has separated all of that from this. We can decide how to take this. Maybe this is actually the first name. First name. This can be the last name. This can be email address. This can be phone number. Like that. So just watch. If now I've actually separated like that, you see that this is part of the phone number, and it's separated from this because we've used a
Hello? Hello?
I think you might have lost Charlie for a minute there.
Okay, okay. It's frozen. Let's wait.
Yeah, because I thought it was my side. Now, since I can hear you, I think it's Charlie.
It's Charlie, okay.
Thank you. So I was talking about, before the network went off, I was talking about how to bring external data from maybe an external source to Excel, where, let me share my screen, sorry. Oops. I hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, please. You can see your window. Yeah.
Right. So I was talking about bringing an external data from Excel to as well as getting an external data from Excel and separating like this. And I start, it's like notepad from can be for, and having delimiters that are phones, and then for the data, and we realize that phone numbers have issues like this that are being separated to text, either a text join function or a concatenate function. And if we want to join this and this, I said you just need to put an equal sign, you put text join, is that want to join, what's the delimiter? I said just a space without anything inside. You put an open curly bracket and you close it. Then you put a comma. You then want to ignore empty space, put another comma. Then you take the text that you want to join one and this text. So as you do like that, this is it. It gives now the phone number here. So if we are auto-filling down, we have the other phone numbers. This, you see, it is joining now this and this to give this. When we are done now, you remember I said these are always formulas. We might need to replace the original cells that we have. So when we have this as formulas, we just need to come to the H where we have the move icon. We drag it using the right click. I will come here and we'll say copy here as values. Click, okay. Now the formulas, the numbers are there. We can take off now this totally. We can take off this just to have now that. Now, what if we are bringing this from an external source? External source means we are not copying and pasting. We are already having this in existence from in maybe as a Word file, as a notepad file, as an Excel file, as a web file, things like that. To bring it now from an external data, we always will need now to use now the same method, but now using an external way of getting it. The same way we have data, we click on data. I'm trying to bring now from an external source. That means this that is in existence. The file name here is example. That's the name of the file. We want to bring example and from maybe an external source to present it in this way. How do we come? Let me just open a new page. I'll come to where I'm having get data. I'll click on get data and then I'll come to from file. I'll have where I'm having text, get data text. This is it. From text, a CSV maps, maybe you can use it in linking maps, Excel data into maps and things like that. When I click on text file, it takes me to a location. I'll need to search where the text file is.
Charles.
Your network, your network is bad. You are breaking up.
Charles.
Yeah.
The quality of your network is
Charles.
bad.
Yeah, your network is very bad, and now we are missing the path you are taking.
Yeah.
So you keep breaking.
Yes.
Your network is very shaky, so you keep breaking. The quality of what you are trying to turn out is not. We're not getting the quality.
And we are missing some pieces in your presentation, including the path you are taking to get to where you get your data.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, Charles.
All right. I've changed the position. All right. You can hear me now clearly, right?
Yes. But can you start
right.
from fresh now, because we have missed some parts, especially when you are getting to where you are getting the data, the path you are using.
All right. From the external data. Hello?
Yeah, yes, Charles. Just start the process to get to getting the data from the external data.
You mean this or the other, the second process?
No, you can just start here.
All right. Let me start here. Let me take off this. I said this is an empty sheet here, and we have data in, maybe we've downloaded data from a mail in Word version, or from the internet in Word version, or in text version. So this is
this one, Charlie.
Yeah.
Charles, this one we got it, okay? But now we're missing the process where now you are getting data from an external source.
All right, let's go to the external source then. I said to get data from the external source, I'm having a spreadsheet that is open without data, a blank spreadsheet like that. I want to bring in this data, sorry, this data. Sorry, let me close this. I want to bring in data from an external file, which can be this. I want to get this data now into Excel using external file. The external file, what do I mean by external file? A file in existence like this is a file name. I want to get this into Excel using maybe the text join function. So I said you open a blank sheet like this. You come to where you want the data to start inputting. You click there. You come to data. On data tab, you can either come to from text / CSV, or you come to the drop down here. You still have from text / CSV. Now, CSV is one of the formats in Excel where you can actually import or export data. And if you're dealing with QGIS, ArcGIS, things like that, you use the CSV function to link data files to a map or to locations of areas within a map. Maybe total number of children reach, you want to put it in a map, you can use a CSV file. You can convert your Excel file to a CSV file, or the format you save it in a CSV format, then you can now import it now to Excel. Now let's import the data from the external source. I said you open an empty sheet like that. You come to the data tab, you click on data, you click on from text. Those that are having lower version of Excel, you can come to get data. You always come here, you see from text. You click where you click from text like that, it will load. You search where your data is. My data is in sample files. You just look the location, you choose, and then I want to bring in examples. I will choose now examples from here. I'll take import. When I take import, it will load. Now you see, this is the data here. Now the delimiter, you see the origin, file origin. This is the destination that I've taken the data from. I'm not really interested in that. What I'm interested here is the delimiter. The delimiter, that's what I'm interested in. What is my delimiter? Is a hyphen. This is it, hyphen, and so on. I'll come to the delimiter here. I'll scroll down. I don't have a hyphen, but I have this, the semicolon is not a semicolon. It's a space, it's not a space. It's a comma, it's not a comma. A column is not a column. So I'll come and take custom here. I'll click on custom, and what is there, I'll come to custom, the box below here, I'll put a hyphen. When I put a hyphen there, now I'll take load. Hyphen here, it means if it was, for instance, let me say, you see, that's already load the data in the hyphen format. If it was space, a comma or space, I will use the comma or space. But here, my data is being separated with the hyphen. As I take hyphen, I'll use a custom here and a hyphen. This is the data. It's based on the first row, 200 data and so on. This is not really our interest. Our interest is to separate the data like that. When I'm done, I can take load here. You have load to. Now, if I take load, it will normally load the data to this space that I created, that I click my mouse on. I click on load. You just wait. It's getting, you see, that's the data. It comes now in a table format. This is the data in a table format, like that. You can now use a text join function now to join that now. You use text join to join the two, since it was actually being linked by this. Maybe the delimiter here is, I said semicolon, open and close, open, close, a comma, ignore empty spaces, I double click, a comma, and the text, the text one is this. I put a comma, text two is this. When I'm done, I put a control and enter, or enter is the same thing. You see, for table, I always tell you, if you use the table, it will autofill the other data automatically. So you see, this is the data now here that we have here. And if we are copying this data, we need just to highlight from beginning to end. We come and we use our right click mouse, we come and replace the data that we have here, and we take copy as values. We'll copy as values now. We can now delete this because we don't need it. We delete both of them like that. And we have just our data now that has been separated from first name, last name, email address, and telephone number. Maybe I don't even need this as well. Delete. So this is the data. So I can now come here and I adjust and I put first name. I put now the last name, and so on. So you can now, at this level now, you can now adjust your data the way you want. There's no current here, so I'm not really position my hands on the keyboard. Last name, and then email address, and maybe telephone number or contact. So you see now here, now you can work. If you had 1,000 data set, you can work at ease without you typing manually or separating manually. So that was just that for that. Before I move now to our pivot table, I don't know our data validation. I don't know if there's any question. If there's any question, we can talk on it. Then we'll move to data validation.
Yes. Although I'm mindful of the fact that you don't have current, but I wanted to show you what I've done with what I learned yesterday. And if there are other ways that we can do that task. So that means I will need to share my screen, and then you stop sharing your screen. So I just show you.
All right. No problem. Let me stop my sharing. I hope you're co-host. Okay, you're host. Yeah, you can share your screen. Let me see.
Yes, please.
It's good.
All right.
It's good to practice what we do so that you really get to understand a lot about this.
Okay.
Just share your screen.
Can you see my screen?
Just a second. Yeah, I can see your screen.
All right. So there's this large data set. So the large data set has site ID, site name, states. So what they required the person to do is to insert a column and then put the region that each of the states belong to. And they now provided this. They now said region 1, this region 2, region 3. These are the states under region 2. So all these states are in this over 5,000. So what I first did was to convert this to a table because it wasn't a table before.
Yeah.
I converted it to a table. I removed the filter, and then I looked at different options. I now came to this side, and then I rearranged this this state. I just copied each of the states, and then I made into a vertical, into one column, and then I put the respective region in front of it. You can see it here. So I titled it lookup. Can you see it?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Yeah. So I now went back to the data, created the column, and then because it's a table now, I now went to the first cell, and then I did a VLOOKUP for this particular array for state on Lagos, and then back to the lookup array here, and then I picked it. So immediately I picked it. Okay, back to my formula, and then I picked the second column that has the region, and then I said I wanted exact figure. But what I did was that column I just I froze it with F4, and then hello, can you hear me? Yes, I'm speaking.
Hello.
I'm speaking. So by the time I just
hello.
Okay. Can someone else hello?
I think Charlie has a problem with network.
Okay. I can see. So
hello.
We're actually talking, Charles. I'm talking. So by the time I get to the center, I was able to get the region for all these states, over 5,000 data. So I wanted to know if there are other ways I could have done it also with this task of having a region, and then they gave me this. So that's why I'm making the presentation. Thank you.
I don't think Charlie heard you completely. It looks like he was breaking up. Charles, are you there?
He has even left, yeah. Let's wait a bit.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Charles, we can hear you.
Hello?
Charles, we can hear you. I'm sure Hassan and Alfred can hear you. Can you hear us? Charles, can you hear? Charles? Can you hear us? Charles?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Wow, the network went off again. Please, can you just take it over again for me to get you?
Okay. Yeah, but you can hear me now.
Of network today. How is the network? I'm getting you, Steve. Just
All
again,
right,
please.
So the question was that we have this.
Steve?
I'm speaking. Can you hear me? I'm with you.
Yeah, I can get you now.
All right. So I said the question was that we should create a region for all the states for this over 5,000 data.
Yes, I can get you. I can get you clearly now.
Yeah, and they gave us this information, and they grouped these states under the region, and then
Steve,
I'm speaking. I'm actually explaining.
hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Hello, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, hello, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
We can hear you, Charles. Steve.
Yes.
I think today is a bad day for Charlie and the network.
I know. That would be my suggestion. He has even left.
I would suggest we try tomorrow or something.
Yes, that would be my suggestion also actually. Probably we should end for today.
Yeah, that's what I suggest.
Yeah. That would be my suggestion that we end for today.
Charlie, are you there?
So I think we should just let me just end the something and share the video. Yeah. Let's end today's training.
Yeah, because I was interested in. Yeah, and I think even your side you are breaking up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let's end for today. I think we'll pick it up tomorrow. And please don't forget to share this tomorrow again. I would like to hear Charlie's view.
Okay, great. All right. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Steve.
Charles has struggled to come in again, but we'll tell him that we should end for today once he's able to hear us. Charles, please, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. Can you hear us? So
Hello?
we think we should end for today.
Hello.
He can't hear us completely. And you are breaking up as well, Steve.